Dr. Green also teaches full-time as Associate Professor at the prestigious Berklee College of Music in Boston, Massachusetts. After Dr. Green performs, retired Rear Admiral Annie B. Andrews of the Federal Aviation Administration will introduce the first of our featured speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Chelsey Green.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I know that we're all sitting so politely and so quietly, but if anybody knows me, they know I like to turn up just a little bit. So if you feel so inspired to, give me a little side to side, or if you want to stand up and do your thing, let's celebrate today, okay?
Yes.
Medicine Chief in the Operation Medicine and Medical Readiness Division at the Coast Guard Headquarters in Washington, D.C. Just to keep it short, but there's so many numerous things, she instituted programs like Navy Safe Harbor, disease surveillance, deployment health, serology screening, respiratory illness, chemical, biological, and radiological medical countermeasures program. She was also recognized by the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs by being honored as one of the Military Health System Female Physicians of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Deputy Surgeon General, Rear Admiral Erica Schwartz.
Very much for the kind introduction, and thank you, Secretary Chow, for allowing me to serve as a surrogate for the Surgeon General. So thank you, and thank you to everyone here for this very important work that you all do. I feel extremely privileged to be here during Black History Month. As an African American female serving as the United States Deputy Surgeon General and serving for the second African American male Surgeon General. In a very real sense, I myself am Black history. And I'm honored not only to play a small part in the progress we have made, but also in the field of medicine and as a country. In almost 150 years, there have been only 20 United States Surgeon Generals. But what I find most fascinating is that 4 of the last 6 were African American. And we've also had a Latina and an Indian American Surgeon General. The fact is, there are few, if any, areas of government where we've achieved such a level of minority representation. And that matters. Why? Both because of perspectives people of color bring to the table, and also because of the future leaders we can inspire. I know this from my own personal experience, but I want to share the Surgeon General's personal experience with you all. He had severe asthma as a child, and he spent lots of time in the hospital. And growing up in rural Maryland, it wasn't until he reached college that he met a physician who was Black. It had never occurred to him that medicine could be a professional option for someone like him. And that doctor whom he met in college was Ben Carson. And meeting him opened his eyes and made him realize that he could actually do this. But unfortunately, and I'm looking at the young people here today, only 6% of physicians are Black. 6%. And fewer Black men and women are going to medical school now than in the 70s and the 80s. And that's why I find it especially important to engage with and empower young people of color. The Surgeon General and I, we want to serve as role models, not only as Black physicians, but as Blacks who are able to become the United States Deputy Surgeon General and the United States Surgeon General. The Surgeon General's guiding principle is better health through better partnerships. Because the truth is that none of us can change our future alone. That was true in securing freedoms for Blacks during the Civil War. It was true in the call for equal treatment during the Civil Rights era. And it's true now as we fight for health equity for all. When the solutions are complex, and especially if they are controversial, we need partnerships, we need collaboration, and that's why I'm so honored to be here partnering with Secretary Chow and the Department of Transportation to celebrate Black History Month. Now, I spoke of health equity. I'd like to take a few minutes to share the Surgeon General's public health priority areas, because health equity is embedded in all of them. The Surgeon General's priority that most closely links to work being done here at the Department of Transportation is his Community Health and Economic Prosperity Initiative. It's called the CHEP Initiative. Now, CHEP is about engaging businesses and policymakers to strengthen communities so that everyone benefits. Now, when you're a physician like I am, and who also works in the field of public health, you can't help but notice a few trends. First, Our health in this country is not as good as it could be. In fact, we rank 28th in the world in life expectancy. At the same time, what we pay for medical care continues to go up, almost $4 trillion, and more than any country by far. Minorities account for a disproportionate and increasing share of the years of life lost in this country. Too many black and brown babies and moms are dying. Too many people of color perish from diabetes, from heart disease, and from cancer. Why are we investing so much as a nation, but getting so little in return? Largely been overlooked by the media. This is especially true among black men and women, ages 45 to 64 in large urban areas, places like Washington, D.C., places like Baltimore. The invisibility of African Americans suffering is a national tragedy, and this plays out again and again. And whether it's crack, whether it's heroin, or menthol in our cigarettes. Now, addressing the opioid epidemic and the disparities that are part of it isn't just pressing for the Surgeon General, it is personal for him. The Surgeon General's brother, his name is Philip, he is currently serving a 10-year prison sentence for stealing $200 to support his opioid addiction. 10-year prison sentence for stealing $200. I share the Surgeon General's family story to show that addiction can happen to anyone and to any family. And stigma is what keeps people from seeking or getting help, and it kills more people than heroin alone. Stigma is prominent in black families and rural communities like the one the Surgeon General and his brother grew up in. But when we confront stigma, we have to change the narrative. We have to save lives today, tomorrow, and for years to come. So as Black History Month ends, please commit to learning more about the opioid epidemic and doing your part to fight stigma and opioid misuse. And you can start by viewing the Surgeon General's digital postcard on the opioid epidemic at surgeongeneral.gov. It lists 5 steps that everyone can take in this room to respond to the opioid epidemic. It's a digital postcard, and you can help by sharing that widely to your friends, to your networks, to your social media platforms. And believe it or not, there is a transportation tie in here also. Did you know that one of the main barriers to drug treatment is transportation to and from the treatment facilities? So even when it comes to opioids, we cannot achieve better health unless we explore better partnerships with our transportation colleagues. Now, I want to finish by connecting health and health equity to the importance of STEM education. Now, I started off by telling you that the Surgeon General never imagined that he could be a doctor when he was younger. But the fact is, he always had an interest in STEM. And he was encouraged and supported by the teachers in those classes. And that led to education and experiences that opened the door for him when he finally decided to pursue medicine. The Surgeon General attended the UMBC College, University of Maryland Baltimore College, and he was a Meyerhoff Scholar, a program designed to increase the number of minorities getting PhDs in the STEM fields. And representation in STEM by African Americans is severely limited, but it's also critically important. STEM fields cross over in all aspects of our lives. Science is literally around us every single day. And it can be pretty obvious when you think about a career in medicine, but there are other ways STEM training promotes healthy communities. Now, I just talked about opioids. Last year, Delaware launched a free app called Opie Rescue, which shows people how to respond in the event of an opioid overdose. The app shows how to recognize an overdose and where to get naloxone to reverse an overdose. Not only can such an innovation help minorities, but when people of color are involved in the design, you get a better product. A product that takes into account language and trust and outreach considerations that others might not consider. And have any of you heard about this coronavirus that's going around? Well, the reason why I'm wearing this uniform is because I am part of the Commissioned Corps. And I'm sure you've heard of the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Coast Guard. I bet most of you haven't heard of the United States Public Health Service. I represent one of 6,100 officers who are serving at the forefront, battling the coronavirus as we speak today. Over 500 Commissioned Corps officers are deployed to Japan, various parts of the country and the world to help protect Americans against this coronavirus. Thank you. Thank you. And I will tell you that the support these officers had early in their lives and careers to pursue STEM careers and training is literally making our country a safer place. And I would argue that encouraging participation in STEM is more important to our country today than it has ever been, as science and technology continue to evolve and aid in promoting community and public health.